Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Wednesday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Diana Master. In the news tonight, a directive from the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture requiring private schools to register grade 12 learners with recognized examination bodies urgently has sparked concern among some independent schools. One institution has warned that the move could cause unnecessary anxiety among learners. The ministry earlier this month issued an urgent directive to private schools offering the Independent Examinations Board International Secondary Certificate, instructing them to register their final year learners with a recognized examining body. In a letter dated 9th of March 2026, Executive Director Mbumba Haitengela said the IEB-ISC is not recognized by the Namibia Qualifications Authority nor accredited within the Southern African Qualifications Authority framework. As you are aware, the IEB International Secondary Certificate is not recognized by the Namibia Qualifications Authority nor accredited within the South African Qualifications Authority framework, Haitengela wrote. He warned that learners who complete their schooling with qualification could face serious obstacles when applying for tertiary education. The ministry said the directive is issued in line with the Basic Education Act of 2020 and the Basic Education Regulations of 2023, particularly Regulation 62(1)(c). All private schools offering the IEB-ISC curriculum must urgently register their grade 12 learners either with the Directorate of National Examinations and Assessment or with another recognized and accredited examining body to ensure that learners sit for an exit qualification that is legally recognized, Haitengela said. He added that failure to comply could have long-term consequences for learners, academic and professional prospects. However, Windhoek Afrikaans Privaat School has criticized the directive, arguing that changing examination frameworks during the final year of schooling is impractical. School Chief Executive Officer Alida Hill said the directive could place significant pressure on learners already preparing for their final examinations. It is unfortunate that grade 12 learners are put through such discomfort to be expected to change curriculum in their grade 12 because anyone who knows education would know that this is not possible, Hill was quoted as saying. Now, despite the agreement, Hill said the school remains open to discussions with the ministry to find a solution. In our next story, the government is keen to bring finality to the new Equitable Economic Empowerment Framework following a fresh round of consultations with public interest groups, Prime Minister Elijah Ngurare said. This announcement follows an engagement held by the Bank of Namibia this week. Ngurare, who addressed staff members of the central bank, said it was concerning that for almost 15 years, nothing had been done to bring the policy framework to a conclusion. We're on it and we need to bring it to finality, Ngurare said during a question and answer session held during the engagement, indicating willingness on the part of the government to bring the matter to a close. Despite the absence of the empowerment framework, the government had, in the meantime, introduced policy interventions that sought to distribute wealth among Namibians equitably, Ngurare said. A study commissioned by the World Bank in 2023 concluded that there is no need for the empowerment framework, which is set to be introduced at a time when value addition and local empowerment are being pushed in Namibia's green hydrogen, oil and gas industries. The idea behind NEEF was to ensure a balanced redistribution of wealth and resources in the country. The emotive proposed law originally sought to compel investors to sell at least 24% ownership or as otherwise determined by the Minister of Trade to previously disadvantaged Namibians. The government has since shelved its hardline stance, but investors remain unsure of setting up shop in Namibia until there is absolute certainty about what the law will look like. In its National Green Hydrogen Strategy development, the World Bank study observed that no general local content or ownership legislation is currently enacted in Namibia, although NEEF remains one of the ways the government seeks to address the issue. Now, the Food and Agriculture Organization and Namibia officially signed the FAO Namibia Country Programming Framework 2025 to 2029 on Monday, marking a renewed commitment to transforming the country's agri-food systems amid deepening food insecurity. The five-year framework outlines three priorities, which are strengthening policies, institutions and data, systems governing agri-food sectors, driving economic recovery and value chain development, and advancing sustainable development and green growth. Speaking at the ceremony, FAO representative and interim Dr. Patrice Takukam described the document as a declaration of shared intent, pointing to alarming food security figures that underscore the urgency of action. According to Takukam, 57.2% of Namibia's population currently experiences moderate or severe food insecurity, while nearly 1 in 5 Namibians is undernourished. More than 1 in 5 children under the age of 5 is stunted. The country also remains heavily dependent on food imports, currently sourcing between 50% and 80% of its requirements from abroad. Smallholder farmers, who make up over 70% of the agricultural sector, have largely been left behind by declining public investment. Namibia's Agriculture Orientation Index has fallen from 0.54 in 2001 to just 0.26 today. The CPF is guided by FAO's Global 4 Betters vision: better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, each addressing specific challenges facing Namibia. On nutrition, the framework highlights a triple burden of malnutrition, childhood stunting, micronutrient deficiencies among women, and rising diet-related diseases in urban areas. In 2024, only 62.3% of women aged 15 to 49 met minimum dietary diversity standards. Environmental concerns also feature prominently. Namibia's forest cover has declined from 10.3 to 8.4% of land area since 1990, while rangelands, fisheries, and scarce water resources face mounting pressure from climate change. The framework carries a total resource requirement of $15.7 million, of which $6.8 million is already secured, leaving a funding gap of $8.9 million. Takukam acknowledged the challenge of closing that gap at a time when global development aid is contracting, pledging to pursue bilateral and multilateral channels, climate finance instruments, and UN joint programs to secure the remaining investment. Several partnerships are already operational under the framework. Team Namibia is stepping into a new chapter of leadership, one defined by broader sector representation, sharper strategic focus, and a steadfast commitment to championing Namibian products and services. The organization, established in 2003 as the driving force behind Namibia's buy local movement, has appointed 4 senior representatives to its board of directors: Ingram van Heerden, Africa Online; Iyalo Hamata, Brand Namibia; Rosina Shimbashike, Namibia Standards Institution; and Panduleni Shivute, JJ Nam Chemicals. The appointments signal a deliberate expansion of Team Namibia's reach across technology, national branding, standards and compliance, and manufacturing sectors that sit at the very heart of building a competitive, self-sufficient Namibian economy. Team Namibia's message to consumers, businesses, and government buyers is clear: where you spend your money matters. Choosing locally produced goods and services keeps capital circulating within Namibia's borders, sustains jobs, and builds the industrial base upon which Vision 2030 depends. We are proud to welcome these organizations and the leaders they have sent to us, said Sydney Hanstein, chairman of Team Namibia. Collaboration across sectors is not optional. It is the only way to build brands strong enough to compete and an economy resilient enough to last. These appointments raise our collective ambition. Team Namibia is a proudly member-based organization, but its purpose reaches far beyond its membership register. It is a platform for collective economic patriotism, one that challenges every procurement officer, every retailer, and every household consumer to recognize that local quality is real, local capacity is growing, and the choice to buy Namibian is one of the most direct contributions any citizen can make to national development. As Namibia continues to pursue inclusive growth, poverty reduction, and industrial diversification, Team Namibia will continue its mission to inspire Namibians to buy local, support local, and believe in the quality of local products and services. That brings us to the end of our top stories. After the break, we bring you our Community Talk segment.
This is Generation C, where high school stories come alive. It's youth-led, youth-driven, and all about real voices from real schools. From standout learners and aspiring teachers, to school culture, talent, vibes, and everything that makes each school unique. No scripts, no filters, just authentic moments and big energy. Catch Generation C every Friday at 12 p.m. on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25. Missed it? No stress. Watch anytime on 1UP2 under My Zone TV. Generation C, made by the youth for the youth. This is where your school gets the spotlight.
Tonight in our Community Talk segment, the Namibia Special Risks Insurance Association Limited has reaffirmed its commitment to community development after handing over sponsorships valued at 134,000 Namibian dollars 518 to 5 institutions during a ceremony held today, the 18th of March 2026. The beneficiaries are the Governor's Office in the Irongo region, the International University of Management, Nengusha Secondary School, Ilondo East Primary School, and Kids Care College. Speaking at the event, Nasria Managing Director John Usiku said the sponsorship forms part of the company's broader corporate social responsibility and investment program, which totals 600,000 Namibian dollars for the 2025-2026 financial year. He said that the initiative reflects Nasria's commitment to promoting growth, empowerment, and inclusive development across Namibia. The true strength of a nation lies in its people and in investing in education, said Usiku. He further emphasized the importance of inclusivity, noting that development efforts must ensure all regions and communities feel represented and supported. According to Nasria, its investments during the current financial year have reached 9 regions, underlining its goal of expanding its regional footprint and driving inclusive national development. The organization indicated that its CSR&I efforts focus on key sectors such as education, agriculture, health, and community empowerment. It also highlighted the promotion of entrepreneurship as a cornerstone of its long-term sustainable development strategy. Nasria noted that by reinvesting in the communities where it operates, it aims to create lasting positive change and improve the quality of life for Namibians. The handover marked another step in what the company described as a long-term commitment to building impactful partnerships and fostering sustainable growth. Together, we can build a stronger and more resilient Namibia, one that offers hope, opportunities, and prosperity for all, Usiku said. Stay with us after the break. We bring you the news headlining the world of economics.
AITSA is 'n echt Namibiese inisiatief. Ons reis op die hartklop van Afrika en vertel stories van mense en hulle dorpe op verskeie platforms insluitende televisie en sosiale media. Dit is joune, syne, julle en ook almal van hulle aan die ander kant van ons grense sinne en dit maak AITSA 'n lekker ding. Kyk AITSA maande om 18:30 op NTV, 1UP2.com, as ook op Netwerk Media Hub en NTV Afrikaans se YouTube kanale. Volg ons op Facebook of besoek ons webwerf by aitsafrica.com.
We do apologize for that. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. We will be right back.
Business First Africa is a forward-looking business show that goes beyond balance sheets to capture how Africans are building, creating, and living. Afrotech explores innovation, AI, and digital systems shaping the continent's economies. Brave and Building profiles Namibian entrepreneurs and businesses transforming industries and urban spaces. Creative Capital spotlights creatives and the creative economy, unpacking how culture becomes value. Africa in 10 delivers a sharp roundup of key developments across the continent. Don't miss Business First Africa, because it's not just business, it's life.
We do apologize for that interruption. Nevertheless, headlining our economic news, February brought a welcome acceleration in Namibia's vehicle market, with a total of 1,165 units sold during the month, according to Simonis Storm Research. This represents a 4.1% year-on-year increase from 1,119 units in February of 2025 and a 15.9% rise compared to January's 1,005 units, marking the strongest February outturn since 2016. Year-to-date volumes now stand at 2,170 units, 4.1% above the corresponding period last year, suggesting that the seasonal softness typically associated with the start of the year has largely run its course and that underlying demand conditions remain intact. The passenger segment was the standout performer, rising to 582 units from 495 in January, a 17.6% month-on-month gain and up 13.9% year-on-year from 511 units in February of 2025. This growth reflects the cumulative effect of monetary easing in 2025, lower borrowing costs, improved affordability, better vehicle availability, and a tentative recovery in consumer sentiment, indicating that the passenger market is entering a more supportive phase. Commercial vehicles showed a more nuanced picture. Volumes rebounded 14.3% from 510 units in January to 583 units in February, but remained 3.8% lower than the 606 units sold a year ago. This divergence points to an active but measured business sector, with commercial volumes continuing to serve as a leading indicator of broader economic momentum, particularly given Namibia's investment-heavy pipeline. Sectoral demand was driven by logistics, mining, agriculture, and energy services, while future construction activity in uranium, gold, and copper mining, as well as offshore oil and gas exploration, could further support medium and heavy commercial vehicle demand. Looking closer at commercial subcategories, light commercial vehicles accounted for 503 units, 6.9% below last year. Medium commercial vehicles fell 4% to 24 units, whereas heavy commercial vehicles doubled to 18 units, and extra heavy vehicles rose 16.7% to 35 units. Bus sales increased to 3 units from the first in February 2025. Rental companies notably stepped up, purchasing 82 units versus 32 units in January, reflecting early fleet positioning ahead of the 2026 tourism season, while dealership sales made up the remaining 1,083 units. The government recorded no purchases, consistent with fiscal consolidation and capital budget constraints. Now let's take a look at the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 22.25 to the British pound, 19.23 against the euro, 16.66 against the US dollar, and 2 Namibian dollars and 42 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. All commodities are down, save for Brent crude oil, which took an upturn of 5.42%, now trading at $109 US and 31 cents per barrel. Now, supporters of Congo-Brazzaville's incumbent president Denis Sassou Nguesso celebrated in the streets as provisional results confirmed he is winning a 5th term with nearly 95% of the vote. This and more coming up in international news right after the break. Tonight in international news, supporters of Congo-Brazzaville's incumbent president Denis Sassou Nguesso celebrated in the streets as provisional results confirmed he is winning a 5th term with nearly 95% of the vote. This victory will extend Sassou Nguesso's 42-year hold on power by another 5 years. Interior Minister Raymond Tsepirin-Bulu announced on national TV that he secured a 5th term with 94.8% of the the votes. Voter turnout, initially expected to be low, was reported at 84.65%. Some candidates have publicly challenged the results, citing a lack of transparency. First-time candidate Destin Gavet held a press conference to condemn irregularities and criticize the government's complete internet blackout. Ivan Goy, executive director of NGO Global Participate, called the election a major setback for democracy in Congo. Bertrand Meneer, spokesperson for civil society platform CapGED's Citizen Observation Mission, described the election as a Nintendo election, asserting that the results do not reflect reality. The platform reported numerous irregularities throughout Sunday and declared the election was neither fair nor free nor transparent. Academic Etanislas Ngodi stated that Denis Sassou Nguesso achieved a Soviet-style score, emphasizing that he controls the institutions, security forces, and administrative structures. In our next story, the French army has begun training several African forces on environmental protection issues in Gabon as part of a program organized by the Academy for the Protection of the Environment and Natural Resources. The exercises form part of the reorganization of France's military posture in Africa, which is now increasingly focused on support and capacity building following Paris's decision to dismantle its permanent military bases in the region. Over several days, participants take part in field exercises and workshops designed to tackle challenges such as illegal gold mining, deforestation, and the protection of sensitive ecosystems. The exercise brings together 11 teams from 8 African countries, namely Benin, Burundi, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Chad, and Gabon, as well as a French team, all supervised by Gabonese and French trainers. The Gabonese Minister of National Defense attended the event, underlining the political importance of environmental security in the region. Organizers say the aim is not just to share technical know-how, but also to build long-term partnerships between armies that often face the same environmental threats across their borders. Now let's take a look at the weather predictions. Ruacana can expect clear sunny skies. Maximum temperatures will be at 35 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperatures will be at 18 degrees Celsius. Here in Windhoek, it's bright and sunny. Maximum temperatures will be at 31 degrees Celsius and minimum temperatures will be at 17 degrees Celsius. Looking over at the coast, it is bright and sunny as well in Walvis Bay. Maximum temperatures will be at 24 degrees and minimum temperatures will be at 18 degrees Celsius. Ariamsvlei is scorching hot. Maximum temperatures are expected to be at 35 degrees Celsius and minimum temperatures will be at 21 degrees Celsius. And now let's get into our sports news. Former Namibia Football Association President John Mwinyo has labeled the decision to strip Senegal of the 2025 African Cup of Nations title as shameful. Mwinyo joins a number of Namibians who have blasted the Confederation of African Football over the verdict to award the competition to host Morocco months after a dramatic final took place in that country. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.